Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Heartland Mamas. I'm Murray Briel.
And I'm Heidi Henry, coming to you from our separate studios at the edge of the Great Red Divide.
This is
today,
our first YouTube live. As you can see, we're working through this. So if you're joining us, thanks so much. If you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, share. You can find us everywhere.
Heartland Mamas, MAMAS.com.
So Heidi, we're talking about Covidiots today, and maybe we should describe what a Covidiot is.
Well, a Covidiot is somebody who will place themselves above humanity for the love of money or Trump.
Right.
How about that?
Yes. Covidiot is a science denier. I believe that would also fall into the flat earther category. I do believe that they are also Covidiots.
Because most of hat wearing.
Yes. I need me some. I definitely need me some Weird Al Yankovic for that one. He has one about tinfoil hats. So
does he?
Yes.
Does he? I have been seeing him a lot lately on. He's everywhere right now. So he must be having a moment. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, Marie, is we live in Illinois. So in Illinois, we have a wonderful governor, Governor Pritzker, who has gone to great lengths to try to protect the citizens of the state of Illinois and flatten the curve so we have fewer people dying, because right now we have over 55,000 cases of COVID-19, and of that we have over 2,000 people, 2,215 people are dead already, and that's in 4 months. So right now, in 4 months, we've had all these extra deaths. And the thing that the governor was talking about today is that Illinois has a huge upspike in deaths overall in the last 4 months from historic norms for deaths in Illinois. And that means that COVID-19 deaths are being underreported. So we're going to have to go back and look at the pathology to see how many people actually died from COVID-19. We don't know.
And there's a lot of people. Heidi, I've got to say that sort of information is great to have and know, but unfortunately, it's also very frustrating because the other side takes that argument and flips it. I heard multiple times while watching Governor Pritzker today in the press conference, people flipping that on its head. Well, they're reporting COVID-19 deaths that aren't. And here's what Dr. Ezike said, the Illinois Department of Public Health director. She explained that any death that is anyone who dies that is found to have had COVID-19 will be classified as that death, even if it was someone who was a cancer patient or whatever the case is. It would be classified because the virus had been detected.
And heart attack, stroke.
And people are jumping on that, saying that the numbers are fake, they're being overinflated. And that leads us to jackasses that we have downstate.
Oh my gosh.
Everywhere. So keep in mind, I would like to just point this out real briefly. Mm-hmm. For all of those you who live in red states, Heidi and I have the utmost empathy, and we know how hard it is because our areas are red with a splash of blue, or they're turning blue. But it's what we experience is nowhere near as terrifying because we have a competent governor who is running things. Then we have Yosemite Sam, associate's degree in agriculture.
Who are you talking about, Mer?
I'm talking about Representative Darrin Bailey from Illinois' 109th district. I think he has like 10 constituents total because no one lives there. So,
well, his biggest problem is he lives near Effingham. What's Effingham famous for? Effingham has a big, giant cross. And when you come down Route 57, my son went to SIU, Southern Illinois University. So I used to drive down 57 all the time. And you come along and all of a sudden, and I'm a very devout Christian woman, and I see this giant cross, and all you can say is, what the effing ham is that? Who does that right by the side of the road? I'm not kidding you. It must be 8 or 10 stories high. I don't know how big it is, but it's like this big, giant cross. And
I don't
for
know
what
that
reason?
I have. I probably have. I just blocked it out of trauma. Giant cross. I would probably hide from that.
So Bailey being somebody from that area, also runs a Christian school, so that makes him competent in public health.
Absolutely. I find that Christian school principals, educators, leaders are typically the best virologists and epidemiologists that we have.
Well, how many times have we heard lately that the best covering of all is Jesus? And the thing that I always tell people is Jesus, God gave us reason and skill and a brain for a reason, that we trust God to give us enough brain to save ourselves. This is a test, and can you rise to the challenge or not? Do you park the brain that God gave you and the fact, ignore epidemiology? Do you ignore science? Well, apparently this guy does. Apparently this guy's, and he's not alone. So he sued the state of Illinois to reopen it. And right now we have 55,000 cases that we know of, and we have hardly done any tests.
Well, technically, he sued the state so that he could be personally removed from the stay-at-home order. And personally removing him, even though he works in agriculture and as a representative, which he's already an essential person. So this was all done not as a way
political grandstanding.
Political grandstanding too, but I think it goes a bit more nefarious than that, Heidi. Either, he is doing this for his politics. He's moving on. Yes. Now, keep in mind, he was elected in 2018, and this stable genius too, is running for state senate now. He hasn't even been in his spot for a term, and he's decided he's running for senate.
He's decided he's so big and so important that he should move up in the ranks to the upper house. Well, and
here's the thing.
I also ran for the Senate. So, and apparently it's not that I felt that I was important. I just felt that people were underrepresented. He's not interested in representing the people. He's interested in representing himself. And the thing with him is he, as a lawful gun owner, as a FOID card carrying Democrat, people who have to flout and tout their guns around and try to create sanctuary states for inanimate objects really need to have their head examined. Honest to God, Marie. I mean, that's the kind of guy he is. He doesn't farm. He is a corporate farmer. He has 17,000 acres. No one person, no family farm does 17,000 acres. I know from farming, as we know, hence the backdrop that you hate so much.
All right. Yeah, no. Heidi and I have had these discussions about our backdrops before, and when I logged on to see my beautiful partner, I saw that backdrop, and we had a very interesting discussion about it. Yes, the Heartland can be rural, but it is not all rural. And rural does not mean farm. There are many people who live in a rural area that are not farmers.
I am.
I know, and I was raised a farmer. My family are farmers. I get it. But, Heidi, anyway, going back to Darrin.
I was raised a suburbanite, so...
Okay.
So there.
You're embracing who you are now. That's great. All right. But, so Bailey, the part of the problem with what he's done, and I do believe you're right, it's for political grandstanding.
That is all it's about.
No, it's also about screwing the worker. It's also about fundamentally what happens if I get to open up or I get to overthrow the governor's order for a stay-at-home order. That means that businesses can reopen, and reopening it removes the folks who are used to work in those businesses from the unemployment rolls. It removes them from benefits. Those are the things that they're actually doing and working on, I truly believe.
Murray, you and I did a couple episodes ago about what is motivating these open up the country rallies, which we know we can link it all back to hedge fund billionaires. We can link it right back to Koch Industries. We can link it right up to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We can link it to people that will never be exposed to COVID-19. However, it is in their financial vested interest to get all of the peasants back to work, to remove any benefits from them, because they're ready to accept a 3% death rate if they can make money. And that's where this Bailey guy falls in. He would rather make some money. He'd rather have Jesus as his face covering. He's never going to have to be in a position where he has to 17,000 acres. This guy's got money. He is never going to have to be in the position the person who has to do pedicures is going to be in. Ever in his life. He will never know their pain. Ever.
You're right.
And he doesn't care.
Absolutely right.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
And worse than that is that he said, looking at this representative's background, and I don't know him personally.
I just what I've read.
What I have done digging in sort of makes me feel like this was not his idea.
No.
This was something that was put into his head to do. He did. This isn't like looking at the arguments, and I have not had an opportunity to look at the judge's ruling and why the judge ruled the way that he did. But I'd be really curious. And we have to remember that, these self-centered individuals who have no idea what it is to be frontline folks, that have no idea what it is to live paycheck to paycheck, who are trying to make decisions, who don't who are ignorant and willfully arrogant. Willfully ignorant.
Yeah. My other problem with this guy Bailey is that he is a pro-birther. He is a rabid pro-birther or right to lifer. He would take away women's rights to their autonomy of their body, but he will also take away your rights to the autonomy of your body and make you go back to work in a position that could kill you, that could literally kill you.
And
he's okay. He's okay. He's okay with a 3% loss in life to restart the economy, because the economy is the most important thing in Representative Bailey's life. There's no doubt about it, because Clay County, where he's from, is one county removed from a hot spot. One county removed from a hot spot. One county removed from being the epicenter.
Well, speaking of hot spots,
hang on. These Republicans, and it's all Republicans that are in on this, these Republicans that sit there and piously clutch their pearls or their pitchforks and claim to be right to life, but they will send people out and take away their benefits to make them work, to make the cogs in the wheel go for capitalism, will never be able to fall on the sword of right to life again. So help me. Shame on them. Shame on them.
But they will. They will pervert whatever is in existence
Perverted is exactly right.
That's what happens. It is we have perverted. Heidi, you and I have done shows, so many shows on how the systems that are in place to protect us have been slowly chipped away at over the last 30 years, 40 years. And that's exactly why we are where we are today. So then you look at hotspots, and you've got this new hotspot forming in Illinois, in Rockford. And so another delightful representative.
Enter the devil. Enter the devil's handmaiden.
John Cabello. Is in the 68th Illinois district.
He wasn't getting enough press, but today, and I heard him today on WGN, or yesterday on WGN radio out of Chicago. I heard him, and I heard the host, and I don't listen to WGN that often, but I was in one of my farm trucks, and it was on, and I'm listening to the whoever was hosting the show say, yeah, the state's not ready for this. And this guy had no idea, had not one clue on why he was suing. There was no thought process at all. There was no argument for the safe reopening of the state. It was just, it's wrong of them to tell us we have to stay home. No, it isn't. We're in the middle of a pandemic.
Is he a teabagger? Is he a teabagger? That explains it. Because this jackass is a teabagger, and the guy in Will County who's organizing the protest rallies, which are very poorly attended, I might say, at least down here, is a teabagger as well.
The freedom movement, whose roots we can trace right back to Coke Industries, right back to it, right back. They don't even try to cover their tracks.
So as you talk about that, Heidi, we need to take a look at that a little deeper. Dan Croft is ran for a Republican primary for the governor of Illinois. He's a conservative pundit and talk show host. He's an attorney. He is the one who bankrolled our Mr. Bailey. And
did he?
As we all know, he did bankroll him. And as his conservative PAC did. And as we all know, what happens when you have super PACs and PACs is you get to hide where that comes from. And being involved in agriculture is a strong connection to Coke Industries. And once you go there, you wonder who these representatives are really representing. They're representing them. They're representing the PACs. They're representing the Republican ideology of mercenary capitalism. Money. Right. That's exactly what's happening.
Money. All of this, get your ass back to work shit is all mercenary capitalism.
Yes, it is.
Because 80% of the country, 88% of the country is like, you know what? We need to be well here. We need to slow our roll here. We need to just shelter in place. And then you get these people who are in power, who are elected to look out for the health and welfare of their constituency, and they could give a shit. So
the frustration is palpable from you and everyone else, and our friends in the red, and for our friends in red states, thank God we only have one small fraction of our legislative branch that is batshit crazy. Now you turn your attention to our neighbor, and we look at Kay in Iowa. And
Kim Reynolds. Kim Reynolds.
Oh, Kim.
Kim Reynolds, who couldn't bring herself to do a stay-in-place or shelter-in-place order, did it county by county, district by district, and then now she's opening it back up again. Not understanding that she has got hotspots in so many different locations in Iowa, and she's not even acknowledging them. Yeah. So what if people are dying in Davenport? What the hell? She doesn't care. The meat packers are on her ass to get those plants open again. So she got our president to do something, Murray. Let's talk about that. What happened?
It wasn't her entirely. There was some assistance from the agriculture industry.
Been kissing his butt.
And some assistance from the agriculture industry from Sonny Perdue, who
not related to Perdue Chicken.
No, not related to the chickens.
No.
But he presented the idea that our food supply was in danger, that we would not be able to have a consistent food supply if we didn't enforce the Defense Production Act.
So
let's talk about the Defense Production Act again.
Sure,
Heidi.
Go ahead.
No,
Now, did we enforce it to make ventilators, Marie?
No, we didn't. And we didn't enforce it to make PPE.
But we did enforce it so the president can never run short of supply of hamburgers.
Yes, and so that enough people get thrown off of unemployment and the numbers go down and it looks better for the president's reelection campaign. Plus, it gives all corporations, remember, the Secretary of Agriculture and the meat processing and all food processing, there's a connection there. And what happens is that they get totally screwed because the workers who might get sick cannot turn around and sue for getting sick, for being put in this position. So
not
now
under the Defense Production Act.
Enter Kim
Reynolds, Governor
Kim Reynolds. Iowa. She's delightful because she also confirmed that this was what was going on by saying that if workers did not go back to work in environments that are as dangerous, and I do believe we will see them being more deadly than the nursing home, and I don't know if it will reach the level of penal institutions, of the criminal justice system, of jails and prisons. I don't think it will reach that, but I think it will far surpass nursing homes as far as the number of ill and the number of dying. Meat packing work industry, I do. With the infections that we have already, we're looking at one plant has 2,000 employees who are infected. Right. One down.
Right. Well, that's very true. I mean, that they're blossoming up like hives all over Iowa, wherever there's a meat packing plant. Well, Nebraska, Iowa, South Dakota, Minnesota, all of those big packers. Now we have packing plants here in Illinois, and our governor has said, no, not until we have safety regulations in place and we're sure that it's safe for workers to return to work.
Speaking of safety regulations, Heidi, did the Defense Production Act that made workers go back to work in unsafe, contagious environments and not allow them to collect unemployment should they choose not to go back, so they're being forced to go back to dangerous environments.
Right.
Which kind of seems like servitude in some
peasants.
way.
We got to get the peasants back to work.
Because the mercenaries want capitalistic engine to go, and the only way to have the engine go is to run the cogs. And when the cogs wear out, we throw them aside, which is why we're building mass graves.
Just put new ones
in all parts of the country. And the frustration, and as you said, here's the best part. There was nothing in there that talked about what needed to happen to make this safe. The CDC went into Smithfield and did an assessment of what they needed to do in order to in order to have best practices and be safe. Now, the CDC has always issued very firm reviews. They come in, they investigate, and it's very firm.
Cut and dried.
This was not. This was done with maybe, if feasible, workers getting proper protection. If feasible.
If you can do it.
If it's possible, maybe alternate shifts and run more shifts so less people are on the plane. If feasible. So kind of maybe, if you want to look at doing something like that, that'd be great. But we're not going to make you. So now, in the history of the CDC, there have been maybe one other suggestive report like that. The language was very different in how this report was written compared to all of the other reports that the CDC has
I've never seen a CDC report look like this one. This one looks like somebody who didn't know the topic and wrote with a big felt tip pen, like a marker. This reopen if feasible, take precautions if you want.
And then we look at him saying that there's a vaccine, that then we're back to vaccine again, right? So if there was a vaccine, I wouldn't believe that it was legitimate. Well, I would have concerns about there is no integrity anymore.
Well, and we talked about this pre-show. We don't have the research to show that COVID-19 can't live on raw meat. We know that a certain percentage of people get salmonella and foodborne illness every year. Will we have COVID-19 contamination from undercooked, improperly handled meat? We don't know that. We don't know. And people are, the CDC, the FDA, The USDA, I went to all of their websites. There's no warning about handling COVID-19 meat processed, in those conditions at all. So, how we're told to cook chicken to a certain amount and to wash your hands. And those protocols should keep people safe. But every year somebody will go, I just got to take this call. I've just got to scroll down on my recipe on my phone or on my tablet. And then they forget to wash their tablet down. They forget to wash their, everything properly, and they get sick. Are they going to get COVID-19? No one knows. And sometimes just handling the packages, we know it can live on surfaces. People don't always wash their hands after they touch the packages from the grocery bag or from the meat counter to the cart into the grocery bag into your freezer. People don't always wash their hands after that. We know that that's a lot of times how people end up with E. coli and salmonella. And people need to be very careful. When they said that there's going to be a meat shortage, I looked at it from an animal husbandry issue because these animals are what they call finished. So they've reached a certain weight and they send them in to be packaged. And there's once they're on the truck to slaughter, because you have to understand, factory hog farms, these pigs never see the light of day.
Right.
The only time they see the outside is when they're in the truck going to be, So once they get on the truck, they can't go back into the factory farm. There's no place for them to go. They have to euthanize them if they can't process them. It is a horrible, humane crisis that they're facing. I totally get that. But instead of saying, hey, let's send them to a farm or whatever, and it's a lot of animals, so that creates its own problems, we're just going to reopen the plants without them being really ready. And I have plenty of food here at the farm. You have growing children. I don't have to worry about it. A lot of other people do. But, you could be a vegetarian until we get this straight.
It's not that hard. I mean,
no.
Nobody is going to perish from not having steak for the next 3 weeks, or bacon, or chicken. No one is going, except those of us who do enjoy our proteins that are not
plant-based
meat, would have a short supply of our protein.
Yeah.
No.
The
Damn you, meat eaters. I'm a total meat eater.
Yeah, not a vegetarian. I don't play one on TV.
No.
They have, we do vegan and vegetarian meals all the time here. It's not boring. It's fun. So, I know that it's not just in Illinois. We have in Florida, Rick DeSantis decided to not report the cases of death or illness any longer in Florida because he doesn't want to curtail tourism. Jose Oliva, who is the Speaker of the House for the state of Florida, slammed his gavel today and said this pandemic is over. And we know that that's not true. The governor of South Carolina is literally begging people not to go into Georgia because Georgia is such a hot spot right now. And South Carolina has done a great job at flattening their curve. So you have people who at one point are governors that are working really, really, really hard, like Governor Pritzker. And right next door, we have, what's her name? Kim Reynolds.
Kim Reynolds.
And, you and I are going to have to go over and do some canvassing for who runs against her when she's up for re-election. So, but I look at this and it's political stupidity. It is so motivated by the Republican Party and their supporters.
Stupidity, but it is not political stupidity. It's political intelligence because they know the bases. They want to hold their base. They need to appease those in power, such as Donald John Trump, those that support Trump, that are backers of him. They need to keep everyone happy. So politically, it is a smart political move, but it is extremely unconscionable, unethical, and despicable. Absolutely repugnant.
Well, when we did our Showing Your Roots order or show 2 shows ago, and you can find that at heartlandmamas.com, where we connected the dots and found out that it was these billionaires who send their representatives to gun shows to recruit the most vehement Second Amendment supporters, not the normal average gun owner. just the ones that are really kind of here on the edge, and they recruit them to do the dirty work to talk to the Trump base, and they are successfully motivating them and wanting them to go back to work. And you and I talked about, hey, if you go out and go to one of these rallies, or you go and decide to go back, you just can't stay home anymore. Maybe you should also refuse to take treatment when you get sick, because you're gonna get sick, and maybe you're not gonna die, but you're also gonna kill other people by spreading it. The state of Hawaii is now paying people to go home. Their tourism is down 99%, but 1% of stupid ass people will still break the protocol and go to the beach in Hawaii.
And the longer we are waiting, the longer it takes, the more reckless behavior becomes. Looking at Governor Pritzker's feed. I've been watching it on Facebook since the first day this started, and I thoroughly enjoy listening to him. And I only watch the comments typically, off and on, because I prefer to listen to him, since most people don't know what the heck he is actually saying. They're not listening to what he's saying. And I will say that the amount of people who are criticizing Pritzker, who are calling him a dictator and a tyrant, has jumped dramatically. Now, that is partially due to bots and fake accounts.
I was going to say, there's a lot of bots out there
at him, because he said that Donald Trump wasn't the savior of the universe. It all ties together in an extremely neat and repulsive package. And that string is we need to unravel that string. We need to unwrap every layer of dysfunctional, disgusting leadership that we can.
When people are willing to politics in mercenary capitalism, send people back to work when we're not ready, when they will violate the orders of violate the orders of shelter in place for political purposes. They're politically motivated idiots, and they would rather see the president succeed and humanity fail. And there's something so seriously disturbing and wrong with that. I can't even plumb the depths of it. When I was reading up on Bailey, did our show today, everything he says he stands for and everything he's doing now says he's a big effing hypocrite.
Yeah, completely confirmed.
Yeah.
So we hope we enlightened you and maybe made some of our followers, when you listen to this, if you didn't watch us live, realize that although we are in a blue state, we still have to deal with red Covidiots, including up north in Rockford, which is highly densely populated, and down south where there is not a single soul. Covidiots are everywhere, and they will cause us all to die in their quest for power and mercenary capitalism.
Now, Murray, there is hope, though. There is hope to get rid of Bailey. Yeah. Well, Bailey doesn't run in a vacuum. He's got somebody who's going to come out, a woman that's going to come up and run against him. And we will need to find a way to support her. Now, running for his seat, we're going to feature in a show coming up here probably later this week, a man named John Spencer, who is the antithesis of Bailey, who is a pragmatic, thoughtful businessman from that area who understands public health. Can you imagine? And he will put the needs and health of the public above mercenary capitalism.
So we are super excited to be able to have him on our show. We're hoping to have him on later this week. And this will continue. I believe we'll keep doing Covidiots.
We're going to keep plumbing the depth.
On Friday, we are going to be live streaming again at 7, this time at 7 o'clock with John Jedney. He is the regional UAW head for...
I love that!
Yeah, so he's going to be talking to us about what impact this virus has had on...
I think I'm going to wear my UAW shirt.
There you go. What impact this has had on labor, on individuals, and on the movement itself. So it should be a great show on Friday. So
I'm
please
excited.
Tune in, like, subscribe, share.
Share.
We're open. We're open.
Yeah. But the more people who subscribe and share helps get the message across, because everybody across the nation should be aware of Covidiots and stay the hell away from them, and don't listen to them.
Don't listen to the Covidiots. I'm sure we'll have more than one part to this. So thanks.
When you motivate an idiot, you have a bunch of motivated idiots. Just saying. So
would we call them a gaggle, a murder of idiots? Murders are crows. Gaggles are. Geez.
I think murder is correct in this.
I think murder is right. I mean, although that's not completely right, because crows are like super smart, and these jackasses are not.
Yeah, but
so listeners, if you come up with anything, let us know. That would be awesome. Yeah. Let us know what you think we should call this gaggle of Covidiots. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Please
take care now.
Like, subscribe, share to
Heartland Mamas. Mamas, MAMAS.com. We'll see you soon.
Join us soon. Bye-bye.
Take care now. Bye-bye.